Hello everyone, my name's AJ. Welcome back to the Wealthy Idiot Show. Someone recently commented on a video I made about my reaction to Dave Ramsey, where I had said that I don't count your personal home as maybe retirement net worth. And I was pointing out that it would be interesting to look at Dave Ramsey's millionaire data if you excluded the person's primary residence. The reason that I say that is because I don't believe your primary residence should be considered an investment. It is the place which you live, but you can't actually pull cash out of it unless you're willing to do a couple of things. So I want to cover this point today so that we can maybe understand a little bit better and how I view your own personal residence in your overall investing picture. So I want to give you two examples. First, we have Bob. Bob buys a primary residence. He lives in this house. He invests no money otherwise, just Bob in his house, and he's paying his house off early. Bob's able to pay his house by the time he hits retirement, let's say at 65 years old, and then Bob has no debt. Then let's say at the same time, his house appreciates in value as he's paying it off. So by the time he hits 65 in retirement, he has no debt and his house is now worth over $1 million. So Bob technically has over $1 million net worth, and he would fall inside of Dave Ramsey's millionaire study. And he would be able to tell Dave, I don't have any debt. I didn't take out any debt other than my mortgage. I paid my mortgage off fast. I'm 65, and now I own my house outright, and I'm a millionaire. Well, that's great. But when we do our estimates on how to retire, we do it based off of the 4% rule. If you haven't watched a previous video, the 4% rule is where you take the amount of net worth that you have and you multiply that by 4%, and whatever comes out is how much you could estimated spend per year without ever running out of money. So for $1 million, if you were to apply the 4% rule, you could spend $40,000 a year every year for your entire retirement, and you would never actually run out of money. However, if you count your home in that calculation, how do you get the actual money out? And this was my question in the video. You could take out debt, via refinancing or a HELOC. You could move and rent it out, in which case you might get some cash flow. You could sell it, in which case you no longer have a home. And those are really the only three ways that you could get money out of your primary residence. If you plan on just living there and not taking out any more debt and following the Dave Ramsey method, then that house might as well be worth $500,000, $200,000. The amount of money that house is worth is pretty much negligent when it comes to what you could get in actual retirement income. It's meaningless. Now, that being said, it's not totally meaningless in terms of calculating what you need for retirement. For example, if you need $50,000 a year to survive and your mortgage is $15,000 of that, and you pay your mortgage off, well, now you only need $35,000 a year to survive. So it dramatically cuts down what you need in retirement, but you can't count your actual home in your retirement income estimates when doing the 4% rule. So I just don't count it as a part of my overall retirement net worth. We'll take another example. Sally over here. Sally rents let's say it's a studio or 1 bedroom in a house. She then takes all of her leftover money that she would have used to purchase a home and she invests it. Maybe she invests it in stock market, in REITs, which is like a group of people coming together to invest in real estate. Maybe she buys some real estate herself, so she still takes advantage of home appreciation and also a little bit of cash flow from that real estate. And all those combined, by the time she retires at 65, she has over $1 million as well. Now, her actual living expenses are going to be higher in retirement because she still has to pay rent on that 1 bedroom, but she can comfortably now take $40,000 out of her retirement and use that towards her living and never have to think about it again. So in both cases, they end up being the same value in terms of net worth. And so you can count your home in your terms of net worth, but when you're calculating what you could actually use in retirement, your home itself really only accounts for not having to spend money on your rent or on your mortgage when you hit that retirement stage. It doesn't actually count for retirement income. Now, the comment also pointed out that once you pay your house off, then you can get to really investing intensely. My problem with this is that investing and the advantages of compound interest happen exponentially increase every single year that that money is invested, meaning that the benefit you get the further out that money is invested, the way higher that benefit actually becomes. So if you pay your entire house off first, and let's say you pay your house off and you're 55 years old, you're planning on retiring at 65, and you invest for those 10 years from 55 to 65, for every dollar you invest at 65 years old, you'll get out $2.59. It's not very significant. It's pretty low because the money has not had enough time in the market to really start compounding. You want it there for as long as possible. So if we were to alternate that and say like, okay, well, Bob is not going to pay his mortgage off. He's going to start investing much, much sooner. Let's say at 30 years old, that gives him 35 years. Well, for every dollar invested, 35 years from now will be worth $28.10. That's a 10 times magnitude more in your investment returns just by having your money in longer. The same money, just in longer. So my take on this is slightly different than Dave Ramsey's. His is pay off all your debt, you'll be debt free, you'll feel more relaxed, more comfortable. That's when you can start considering things like investing more hardcore. My mentality is more on the side of invest intensely yesterday, the day before that, the week before that. If you're not investing, then invest now. There's no time like today, like right now, to start investing as much as you possibly can. Cut down your living expenses, live as lean as you possibly can so you can get as much money into the market as you can, and then you'll be able to really grow that wealth by the time you're ready to retire. So feel free to disagree with me about whether or not you count your house. I personally would count it in terms of net worth, like I'm worth X amount of dollars. I would not count it in my calculations for what I could retire on. I would make sure that I'm only counting things that I can cash out or produce cash from at the time of retirement. I think that that's important to make sure that we're measuring those things, because when we finally get there, we want to make sure that we're living our lives successfully, we are secure, we're safe, we're financially independent, and we're not sitting there wondering, well, I got everything paid off, but now I have no idea what to do and I have to continue working. That's the last place we want to be. So thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you listening. Please throw down a like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.